Cambridge International School, DASUYA, a Vassal Education School. Students, I am Radha, working as PGT Business Studies at Cambridge International School, DASUYA. Students, as you know, we were doing chapter 3, that is business environment, and we have completed all the topics from this chapters. Now today we are going to discuss about the case studies from business environment chapter. And today our learning objective is, after discussion of case studies from business environment chapter, you all will be able to solve case studies independently and confidently. Now let us start with first case study. Benny, after completing her MBA, took up a job with a multinational company named Fortio. The company was paying good salary and perks to its employees. The wages were within the paying capacity of the company, which provided the employees a reasonable standard of living. The company also had a good work culture, and the behavior of superiors was very good towards their subordinates. Benny was very happy in this organization, but due to long working hours, she did not have time to cook her meal. She had to depend upon outside food, which was deteriorating her health. She observed that this problem was faced by many of her colleagues, not only in her company but also in many other companies. This was because of increase in the number of working women and non-availability of hygienic home cooked food. She identified this as a great opportunity and decided to give up her job to supply packaged home cooked food to office goers at a reasonable price. At the end of the day, she was also distributing the leftover food in the nearby night shelters. State the dimension of business environment being discussed above, and state the principle of management being followed by 40. Now the answer for this case study is social environment. Social environment, where we are talking about values, tradition, customs, taste and preferences, social problems of people. So here they are talking about they were facing the problem of that home cooked food. They were not getting that. They need to depend upon outside food, and that increase in number of working women and non-availability of hygienic home cooked food. So these lines indicate regarding our social environment. So the dimension of business environment is social environment. And one more thing, they were distributing the leftover food in the nearby night shelters. So main line is that there was, because of increase in the number of working women and non-availability of hygienic home cooked food, that we have chosen the dimension, that is social environment. Now next question they are asking about principle of management being followed by Fortio. The principle of management being followed by Fortio is remuneration of personnel, as the company was paying good salaries and providing perks to its employees. Students, keep remember that within the question only that you will find some lines which will indicate towards the right answer, and you need to find that particular line which will help you to find a right answer according to the given question. Now the second question is, with the change in the consumption habit of people, Nilesh, who was running a sweet shop, shifted to chocolate business. On the eve of Diwali, he offered chocolates in attractive packages at reasonable prices. He anticipated huge demand and created a website, chocolove.com, for taking orders online. He got lot of orders online and earned huge profit by selling chocolates. Identify and explain the dimension of business environment discussed in the above case. Now the answer is dimensions of business environment which are being referred to in the given case. Now first dimension which is discussed here, that is social environment. Now the line is, change in the consumption habits of people implies a variation in the social environment of the country. So change in the consumption habits of people This indicates towards the social environment. Now, the social environment includes the effects of changes in business environment due to cultural values, traditional procedures, and festivities. Example, an increase in imports leads to a fall in the price of domestic currency and vice versa. Then they are talking about technological environment. He created a website chocolove.com for taking orders online. Implies a change in technological environment, means to increase his sales he has created a website. That means he has taken support of technology. And technological environment takes into account various changes in technology of an economy. It involves infrastructure changes and information technology revolution. For example, smartphones and e-commerce are the foundation of most business startups in the modern era. Competing with different market players would require a company to launch an app and a website. So here first thing was change in consumption habits of people. So it indicates towards social environment, and they are talking about he created a website chocolove.com to increase his sales, that is related to technological environment. Now next question is Nandrachal Networks and Technologies Limited is a leader in technology innovation in USA, creating products and solutions for a connected world. It has a large research and development team which invented the first smartwatch WI, which besides showing the time would also monitor few health parameters like heartbeat, blood pressure, etc. While in search of market abroad, the company found that in India, the reform process was underway with the aim of accelerating the pace of economic growth. The company decided to take advantage of the fact that licensing requirements had been abolished. The company was also aware that there had been increased level of interaction and interdependence among the various nations of the world, and India could be made a base for its international trade. It set up its office in Gujarat with a view to capture the Indian market. In a short span of time, the company emerged as a market leader. Success of the company attracted many other players to enter the market. Competition resulted in reduction in prices, thereby benefiting the customers. In the above paragraph, two major concepts related to government policy have been discussed. Identify and explain those concepts. Also, explain briefly any three impacts or those concepts on Indian business and industry. It is for 5 marks. Students, I told you before reading case study, you must read the question first. So it will provide you the direction to think in one direction, so that you will be able to focus only on that few concepts which will be related to case study. So now here two major concepts related to government policy which have been discussed in the above paragraph are liberalization and globalization. Students, with the help of second question, they are asking explain briefly any three impacts or those concepts on Indian business and industry. Means you will come to know that within 2 seconds or by reading this question that this question belongs to chapter 3. It will be easy for you to focus only on the chapter 3 and the topics related to it, and then you can start reading the case study. And now here they are talking about major concepts, that is major programs under industrial policy 1991. So now here liberalization. Now they did not say that you need to quote the lines, but that from which line you came to know that it belongs to liberalization, that is company decided to take advantage of the fact that licensing requirements had been abolished. It means liberalization means that unnecessary restrictions are removed. So it is related to liberalization. And liberalization refers to progressive elimination of government control and restrictions in the form of licenses, permits, and quotas. The main aim was to liberalize the Indian business industry from excessive government control and to give complete freedom to make their own decisions regarding the investment, marketing, pricing, and production. So, liberalization related to provide freedom and to eliminate the unnecessary control and restrictions. Then second concept is globalization. Now from which line we came to know the company was also aware that there had been increased level of interaction and interdependence among the various nations of the world, and India could be made a base for its international trade. So globalization means when we are going to integrate various economies of the world, that all the countries they they can they can trade with each other without any restriction. This is called globalization. So it is a conscious and active process associated with free flow of information, knowledge, services and goods so as to expand business and trade across the borders of the countries. It aims at increasing openness, growing economic independence, and promoting economic integration in the world economy. That means, with the help of this, we can make good relations with other countries. So, two major concepts are liberalization and globalization. Now, in B part, they are asking about explain briefly any three impacts on Indian business and industry. So that any three impacts, they are not asking you for particular point, so you can write any three impacts. So first we have taken increased competition, then increased demand or more demanding customers, change in business policies. So you can take lines from your book, you can read the points from your book, and then that points also you can write for this question. So increased competition, more demanding customers, that we need to make new policies, new plans according to the changes in the business environment. So these are the impacts of liberalization and globalization on Indian business and industries. You need to explain in detail. Now the next question is give the meaning of business environment and explain any three features of business environment. So this is the direct question. Students, now the answer is sum total of all external factors or forces which influences or affect the functioning of business, and business has no control over these external forces. These are of two types, specific forces and general forces. Now one writer rightly said, just take the universe, subtract from it the subset that represents the organization, and the remainder is environment. Now the features students, if they are asking any three features, so you can write, you have a choice that which point you want, you can write here. But if they are asking about a particular point to be explained, then you need to explain it according to the question. But here they are asking about any three features. First feature, it is a sum total of all external forces, and second, specific and general forces. Specific forces which affects directly, and it includes investors, competitors, suppliers and customers, etc., who affects day-to-day working of the business firm directly. But general forces like social, political, technological, economical and legal, which affects a business firm indirectly. And third point, I have taken interrelatedness or dependent on each other. All the forces or factors of business environment, all elements are closely dependent on each other. For example, awareness for healthcare has increased the demand for health products like Diet Coke, organic food items, fat-free cooking oil, etc. The next question is Mahinder Agro Limited started a new venture for distribution of harmful and chemical fertilizers free vegetables. They conducted a survey to find out consumer preferences for such vegetables. They found that most of the consumers were concerned about the harmful chemicals being used in growing the vegetables. They found that 90% of the households were searching for its alternatives. The company contacted a group of agriculture experts to lay down the procedure for growing the vegetables by the farmers. They decided to train the farmers in new technology to grow chemicals grow chemical-free vegetables according to new innovative methods. The experts also suggested soil management techniques through which farmers would be able to create an abundant and lasting harvest. Identify and explain the two dimensions of business environment highlighted in the above paragraph. Now the answer is social environment and technological environment, from which line we came to know that it is related to social environment and technological. They found that most of the consumers were concerned about the harmful chemicals being used in growing the vegetables. They found that 90% of the households were searching for its alternatives. It is about the society, that means all are facing that harmful chemicals being used in growing the vegetables, and it can affect their health. And second, they decided to train the farmers in new technology to grow chemical free vegetables according to new innovative methods. So innovation and scientific improvements, these all are related to technological environment. So these two dimensions, social environment and technological environment, is discussed here. Now next question is, MATLAB Networks and Technologies Limited is a leader in technology innovation in the United States, creating products and solutions for connecting the world. It has a large research and development team which invented the first smartwatch named as W7. The watch, besides showing the time, also monitors few health parameters like heartbeat, blood pressure, etc. While in search of markets abroad, the company found that in India, the reform process was underway with the aim of accelerating the pace of economic growth. The company decided to take advantage of simplified export procedure and removal of quantitative as well as tariff restrictions in India. It set up its office in Jamnagar with a view to capture the Indian market. In a short span of time, the company emerged as a market leader. Success of the company attracted many other players to enter the market. Competition resulted in a reduction in prices, thereby benefiting the customers. In the above paragraph, two major concepts related to government policy have been discussed. Identify and explain these concepts. Also explain briefly any three impacts of these concepts on Indian business and industry. Now the next question. In this question, first we will read the question. Identify and state the component of business environment highlighted in the above para. State any two features of business environment as discussed by Professor Mehta with Naman and Govind. Also state 2 points of importance of business environment as stated by Professor Mehta in the above situation. Now we will read the case study. Naman and Govind, after finishing their graduation under vocational stream, decided to start their own travel agency which will book rail tickets and air tickets on commission basis. They also thought of providing tickets within 10 minutes through the use of internet. They discussed the idea with their professor Mr. Mehta, who liked the idea and suggested them to first analyze the business environment, which consists of investors, competitors, suppliers, customers, etc., and other forces like social, political, technological, legal, economical, etc., that may affect their business directly or indirectly. He further told them about the technological improvements and shifts in consumer preferences that were taking place, and hence they should be aware of the environmental trends and changes which may hinder their business performance. He emphasized on making plans keeping in mind the threat posed by the competitors so that they can deal with the situation effectively. This alignment of business operations with the business environment will result in better performance. Then they are asking about components, two features and 2 points of importance here. Now the answer for this question, first one, that is technological environment. Why this answer? Because they are talking about they also thought of providing tickets within 10 minutes through the use of internet. It means they are going to use technology for their business purpose. So technological environment is highlighted here. It includes scientific improvements, innovations which provide new ways of producing goods and services or new methods and techniques of operating a business. Then they are asking about two features of business environment as discussed by Professor Mehta, Vidnaman and Govind are as follows. Students, they are not asking about write any two features of business environment. They are asking write two features which are discussed by Professor Mehta, Vidnaman and Govind. So from the lines only you need to find that which point of feature is mentioned here. First they are talking about dynamic nature. It is dynamic in nature, keeps on changing due to technological and upgradations, shift in consumer preferences or increase in competition in the market. Second, they are talking about interrelatedness, that all the elements of business environment are closely interrelated or interdependent on each other, and any change in one element may necessitate corresponding changes in the other element as well. So these are the two features that they have mentioned, Professor Mehta has mentioned there. Now 2 points of importance of business environment as stated by Professor Mehta in the above situation are described below. First one, it enables the firm to identify opportunities and getting the first mover advantage. Students, here Mr. Mehta, he was saying about the trends and changes which may hinder the business performance. That means they should be proactive and they can make new plans how they can take first mover advantage by identifying the opportunities before their competitors, and early identification of the forthcoming opportunity helps an enterprise to be the first to exploit them instead of losing them to the competitor. And second, they are talking about he emphasized on making plans keeping in mind the threat posed by competitors and so that they can deal with the situation effectively. So this line indicates that it helps the firm to identify threats and early warning signals. Sometimes the changes in the external environment may pose as a threat and hinder a firm's performance. And awareness about the business environment help the manager to identify that threats on time and they can take necessary decisions and actions. Now next question is, Make in India is an initiative launched by the Government of India to encourage national and multinational companies to manufacture their products in India. It focuses on job creation and skill enhancement and is in 25 sectors of the economy. Under the initiative, brochures on these sectors and a web portal were released. The initiative aims at high quality standards and minimizing the impact on the environment. It also seeks to attract foreign capital investment in India. In context of the above case, identify the various dimensions of business environment being referred to by quoting lines from the paragraph. Now students, here you need to write the lines from which line you came to know that this will be the answer or this dimension of business environment is discussed. Now the various dimensions of business environment being referred to in the above case are as follows. Political environment first. Make in India is an initiative launched by the Government of India to encourage national and multinational companies to manufacture their products in India. Students, why political environment? Because now here the attitude of government towards business firms. Now this line, Make in India till products in India, this indicates about political environment. Then technological environment. Under the initiative, brochures on the 25 sectors and a web portal were released. Economic, so they are talking about the technological environment, technology they have used. And then economic environment. It also seeks to attract foreign capital investment in India. So this is related to a foreign investment which comes under economic environment. Our next question is, a recent rate cut in the interest on loans announced by the banks encouraged Amit, a science student of Progressive School, to take a loan from State Bank of India to experiment and develop cars to be powered by fuel produced from garbage. He developed such a car and exhibited it in the science fair organized by the Directorate of Education. He was awarded the first prize for his invention. Identify and explain the dimensions of business environment discussed in the above case. Now they are asking about the dimensions, so economic environment and technological environment is discussed here. And from which line we came to know that they have written that he wanted to take a loan from State Bank of India, and the government has announced there is a rate cut in the interest on loans, so that he has decided to take loan, so it is related to economic environment. Then he developed a car that which will powered by fuel produced from garbage, so this was related to invention, and then it is related to technology. So economic environment, it comprises of factors that can affect management practices in a business enterprise, includes interest rate which is given in your case study, inflation rates, change in disposable income of people, stock market indices, and the value of rupee, etc. Then we can talk about technological environment. It includes forces related to scientific improvement and innovation, as he has invented a new car which will powered by fuel produced from garbage, and he won that first prize for his invention. So that it is related to scientific invention improvements and innovations which provide new ways of producing goods and services and new methods and techniques of operating a business. So these two dimensions are discussed here. Now next question is, Accent Electronics Limited was operating its business in Malaysia. The company started exporting its products to India when the Prime Minister announced relaxation in import duties on electronic items. The company appointed retailers in India who had direct online links with the suppliers to replenish stocks when needed. Identify and explain the dimensions of business environment discussed in the above case. Now in this question they are asking about dimensions of business environment discussed here. So students, the answer will be political environment and technological environment. Students, keep remember there is a difference between legal environment and political environment. When there is an announcement or introduction of any act, law, order, then it will be legal. But here they are saying that Prime Minister announced relaxation in import duties on electronic items. It means they are talking about the attitude of that present government towards business and industry. So it is related to political environment. Their attitude of that elected government representatives hold towards business. And then it is related to technological environment, because that Accent Electronics Limited, they are dealing in electronics items, and that when Prime Minister announced relaxation in import duties on electronics item, then it is related to technological environment also. Means that here there is no any kind of invention or scientific improvement, just we are talking about electronic goods. It is related to technology. Then we can say that dimension. And one more thing students, that here it is written identify and explain the dimensions of business environment. So use your brain, that if it is written explain the dimension of business environment, means only one dimension they are asking, then you can write political. But if it is asking that write and identify and explain the dimensions, it means two or more dimensions you need to explain, and which is discussed above. So you need to take care that which are discussed in the case study, that only you need to tell. So here we can see two only, that about electronics they have talked about, and that then that is related to technological environment, and about relaxation in import duties by the Prime Minister, that this is related to political environment. Now the next question is, the court passed an order to ban polythene bags, as these bags create many environmental problems which affect the life of people. Society at large is more concerned about the quality of life. the government decided to give a subsidy to the jute industry in order to promote this business. As a result, innovative techniques are being developed to manufacture jute bags at low rates. Incomes are rising and people can afford to buy these bags. Identify the different dimensions of business environment by quoting lines from the above particulars. Before writing answer for this question, students, the court passed an order to ban polythene bags as that first one, these bags create many environmental problems which affect the life of people. Then second point, society at large is more concerned about the quality of life. So students, some points are given in this question and you need to identify the particular dimension related to that particular line. So that means each line belongs to one particular dimension. So you need to identify that. Now first one, the court passed an order to ban polythene bags. That means court ने order pass किया है. It is related to legal environment. Then social environment, that we are talking about, the people at large are more concerned about their quality of life. It is related to social environment. We are talking about society. And then it means the bags create many environmental problems which affect the life of people, and society at large is more concerned about the quality of life. Then political environment, where the government decided to give a subsidy. It is not related to an order, issue an order or law, act. It is related the government decided, means government's attitude, what they are going to do for the business. The government decided to give a subsidy to the jute industry in order to promote this business. Students, in previous question we have studied where they are saying Prime Minister announced relaxation in interest rate or whatever. No, interest rate नहीं, government announced relaxation. That was related to weight. That was related to import duties on electronic items. So it means that when government will announce something related to business, whether it is a positive or negative, it is called political environment. And if any order is passed, any judgment is given, or then act has passed, or we can say any law, any rules, regulation, then it will be legal environment. So in this way you will be able to differentiate, you will be able to know which comes under which line, which comes under political environment, which comes under legal environment. Then technological environment, that innovative techniques means if it is related to scientific improvements, and innovative techniques means related to technology, then it will be technological environment. So innovative techniques are being developed to manufacture jute bags at low rate. Then last one, economic environment. Incomes are rising and people can afford to buy these bags. So means when we are talking about that interest rate, we are talking about that income, disposable income of people, and taxes, then it is related to economic environment, economic policies, etc. So these are the dimensions discussed here. Now next question is, just after the declaration of the results of Lok Sabha elections 2009, the Bombay Stock Exchange price index rose by 2100 points in a day. Identify the environmental factor which led to this rise. That answer is political environment has led to the rise in the Sensex. Student, how did you come to know? Just after the declaration of the results of the Lok Sabha elections. That means this was an political issue. And because of this, that Bombay Stock Price Index rose by 2100 points in a day. Now the next question is, on 8th November 2016, the Government of India announced the demonetization, making all rupees 500 and rupees 1000 banknotes of the Mahatma Gandhi series invalid past midnight. The government claimed that the action would curtail the use of illicit and counterfeit cash to fund illegal activities and terrorism. The BSE, Sensex and Nifty 50 stock indices fell over 6% on the day after the announcement. The decision was heavily criticized by members of the opposition parties, leading to debates in both houses of parliament and triggering organized protest against the government in several places across India. People seeking to exchange their banknotes had to stand in lengthy queues, and several deaths were linked to the inconveniences caused due to the rush to exchange cash. After demonetization, the demand for point of sale or cash or card swipe machines has increased. E-payment options like Paytm has also seen a rise. In context of the above case, identify and explain the various dimensions of business environment which relate to the above mentioned case. Now, here in answer, the various dimensions of business environment which are discussed here, that are political environment, technological environment, economic environment and social environment. Students, it is a political environment because that here we are talking about that one line, the government that the decision was heavily criticized by the members of the opposition parties, leading to debate in both houses of parliament. It is related to political issue. And then we are talking about technological environment. That means that now that is now the time is demand for point of sale or card swipe machines has increased. E-payment options like Paytm has also seen a rise. So these all are we have started to use technology, means cashless economy. And then economic environment, when we are talking about that demonetization, that it is related to currency, it is related to money and it is related to economic policy. So it comes under economic environment. Then social environment, it is related to that expectations of society or how society has suffered, that people seeking to exchange their banknotes had to stand in lengthy queues and several deaths were linked to the inconvenience caused due to the rush to the exchange cash. So this is related to social environment. Next question is, Kapil Sharma is working as the country head of a company which owns a chain of malls under the name of Virtuso in the various parts of India. Through an analysis report of the business environment, it has been brought to his notice that in the coming years, shopping at a mall will not be a necessity for the buyers as purchases can be made online from anywhere and at any time with ease and at the consumer's convenience. Hence, malls will have to provide much more than shopping to be able to attract customers. So, he recommends that Virtuso malls should to be restructured into recreation centers, offering more spaces to socialize, host events and concerts, and provide ample food and beverages options. Consequently, the share of entertainment segment and food and beverages segment in the overall mall space is increased by 20%. As a result, the company gains enormously by getting the first mover advantage. In context of the above case, define the term business environment and explain the terms threat and opportunities by quoting lines from the paragraph. Now, the term business environment means sum total of all individuals, institutions, and other forces that are outside the control of a business enterprise but that may affect its performance. The term threat, now that they are talking about, explain opportunities and threat by quoting the lines. Now the term threats refer to external environment, trends and changes that will hinder a firm's performance. Now that quoting the line, that means from which line we came to know this is a threat. Through an analysis report of the business environment, it has been brought to his notice that in the coming years, shopping at mall will not be necessity for the buyers as purchases can be made online from anywhere. So this is the line which indicates threat. Now next is that opportunity. These are the positive external trends or changes that will help a firm to improve its performance. As a result, now quoting the lines, It means that this is the line from where we came to know this is an opportunity. As a result, the company gains enormously by getting the first mover advantage. It is interesting to know that menu items of the multinational food chains are customized to suit the general palates of the local people in the region. When McDonald's started its business in India in the year 1996, the company went through a complete localization strategy. McDonald's changed its product menu to accommodate the vegetable burger given the large vegetarian population. It also altered its store design and even reduced the product price by close to 15%. Also, the Mac Aloo Tikki burger is not available anywhere but in the Indian outlets of McDonald's. Identify the relevant features of business environment being discussed above. Now the answer is relativity is the relevant feature of the business environment which is being discussed above. Students, relativity means every country, every region has its own environment, has its own forces and factors. Like in India, that McDonald found that people like aloo tikki burger and their taste and preferences are different, then they have made the different policy for according to the need of the society. So this is relativity is the feature, that means according to the desire expectations of customers, that McDonald had changed its menu. Zero defect, zero effect is a slogan coined by the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, with reference to the Make in India initiative launched by the government. The slogan reflects the efficiency of production processes. The products have no defects, and the process through which the product is made has zero adverse environmental and ecological effects. The Z model aims to make India the manufacturing hub of the world and prevent the products developed in India from being rejected by the global market. Moreover, before the initiative was launched, the limits of foreign direct investment in various sectors had been relaxed. The application for licenses was made available online and the validity of licenses was increased to 3 years. Various other norms and procedures were also relaxed by the government. In the light of the above paragraph, identify and explain the major components of new economic policy of 1991 that are being referred to by quoting lines from the paragraph. Now, the major components of new economic policy of 1991 that are being referred to are as follows: liberalization and globalization. As you know, liberalization to remove unnecessary control and restrictions to the business and industries. And globalization, it means integration of various economies of the world leading towards the emergence of a cohesive global economy. Now, how we came to know that these terms are related to liberalization and globalization? Then, students, lines. Moreover, before the initiative was launched, the limit of foreign direct investment in various sectors had been relaxed. License was made available online and validity also increased to 3 years. So it means relaxation was given, more freedom was given, unnecessary restriction was removed. It is related to liberalization. Then globalization, then Z model aims to make India the manufacturing hub of the world and prevent the products developed in India from being rejected by the global market. That means now we are allowed to trade with other countries without any restriction. So it is related to globalization. Now next question is, postage stamps have been unveiled to commemorate 140 years of existence of the country's first stock exchange, the Bombay Stock Exchange. The setting up of BSE is considered to be the greatest revolution that took place in the financial markets in India, as it acted as a key driver for economic growth of a country. This is due to the fact that there exists a strong correlation between economic growth, and capital accumulation. In the context of the above case, identify the dimensions of business environment of India being referred here. And next question is, state any three factors which broadly affect the dimension of business environment of India as identified in part A of the question. Students, when this type of question comes where B part is dependent on A, then you need to solve it carefully. Read case study and question carefully and then find out the answer. So then if your A part will be right, then your B part will be right. So take it very seriously. Now students, in this question they are asking about the dimension of business environment of India being referred here. And they are talking about that economic growth of a country which is related to economic environment. So economic environment is the dimension of business environment of India being referred here. Three factors which broadly affect the economic environment of India are stated below. Stage of economic development of country, economic structure in the form of mixed economy, economic planning including 5-year plan, annual budgets, interest rate, inflation rate, these all are the factors which affect the economic environment. Students, what are the components we have studied under economic environment? That you can write any three among them. So this is your choice. So it can be your answer. Now the next question. Anurag aspires to work with a socially and environmentally committed company as he doesn't want to work just for monetary benefits but also the brand value of the company he works for in the society matters a lot to him. Therefore, he has joined Cerebra Integrated Technologies, a Bengaluru-based infotech company. The company has built India's largest e-waste recycling plant. The company strives to be one of the leading players in this business, which has huge potential not only in terms of generating huge revenues and profits, but also wants to contribute to the environment issues that have become crucial worldwide. The company sees big business in the mountains of e-waste in Bengaluru, which produces 2 lakh tons of e-waste a year. The company plans to make its millions by extracting metals such as gold and platinum from the e-waste piling up in the city. As a mobile phone, for example, is made up of a combination of rare earth and precious metals. It contains 250 mg of silver, 24 mg of gold, and 9 mg of palladium, while a laptop has 1000 mg of silver, 220 mg of gold, and 500 grams of copper. To start the business, the company has obtained a license from KSPCB, Karnataka State Pollution Control Board. In context of the above case, identify the various dimensions of business environment being referred to by quoting lines from the paragraph. Now, in this question also they have asked about the dimensions involved here. It is technological, social and legal. Technological because they are talking about invention. They are going to create a new mobile phone, and that the company has built India's largest e-waste recycling plant. Then so these are related to technological environment. We are talking about scientific improvements and innovations. Then it is related to social environment. Social environment, the company is a socially and environmentally committed company, and they are working as per the expectations of the society. And they are saying he works for in the society matters a lot to him. So then, and they have taken license from KSPCB. It is related to legal. That means they have to follow some rules, regulations. They need license. They are taking it and for their business purpose. So these are the dimensions involved in the above case study. So this is the time to conclude our lesson here. Students, today we have discussed about the previous year's board questions based on case studies. Students, take these case study based questions seriously, because simple question, direct questions, you can do it, you can attempt easily. But when we talk about case study based question, this is new for you. From grade 11, since grade 11 we have done enough practice of this, but now that this is your board year, so you need to go for enough practice of case study based questions. If you need extra questions for practice, you can contact me anytime. And what you need to do, that these questions you need to read thoroughly, revise thoroughly, and try to attempt it yourself. And you need to write these answers in your fair notebook, or you can take printout and paste it in your fair notebook. So students, stay home, stay safe, and keep studying.